In the section of problems that we worked on today, we are asked to take some information and write an equation for either a sine function or a cosine function. In 28 through 30, you're writing an equation of a sine function, and we're given the amplitude, the period, the phase shift, and the vertical shift, and we're supposed to convert that into those values that we've been learning and write the equation. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do number 28 and then number 31, one of each of these types of problems, and so hopefully you'll be able to do the other four. So the deal is this. We're going to go down the list and make sure we have all of our variables. We need capital A for the amplitude. We need lowercase k, lowercase c, and lowercase h. So I'm going to work on number 28 right here and show you how we get those. The amplitude is easy. They gave it to me, so I know A equals 7. I'm going to use the period to find out what letter K is, okay? So normally the period equals, so I'm going to just write this out, period equals 2 pi divided by k. I'm going to put their period right here and then solve for k. So one way to do that is put the 3 pi, but I'm going to put it in over 1, so I can have 2 pi over k. I will cross multiply this proportion, right? If I cross multiply, on the left I end up with 3 pi k equals 2 pi. And then to solve this, we're going to divide both sides by 3 pi. And I end up canceling these pi's, and I find out that k, I got to write this on the side here, but k equals 2/3. So we already have our amplitude, our A, for the equation. Now I have my k. Once you get k, you can then solve for c using this phase shift here. So we know that the phase shift, which I'm going to put as PS, equals negative c over k. I'm going to put their phase shift number here. I'm going to put the k number that I just solved for here. I'm going to solve this thing. In fact, let's do a little algebra ahead of time. To solve this equation, really all I need to do is multiply both sides by negative k. That'll take care of this negative sign and the k. So that means I got to multiply this side by negative k. So for future reference, if you want to figure out what c is, it's just the negative of your k times the phase shift that they give you. So for us, that means negative 2/3. No, that's supposed to be 2/3. Sorry. Negative 2/3 times pi, which they gave us, which is negative 2 pi over 3. So now I have the value for c. And then you can see they give us the h there. That's the phase shift is just, or the vertical shift is just h equals negative 7. All right, so I used up a lot of space here, but I'm going to try and squeeze this equation in at the bottom. So here's what the equation is supposed to look like. It's supposed to be y equals the amplitude, which is 7. This is a sine function, so I'm going to put sine of. It's going to be c, which is, or excuse me, k. It's going to be k, 2/3 times our independent variable. Sometimes we use theta, sometimes we use x. Because our textbook uses theta, I'm going to put a theta right here. Then it's going to be plus c, which is negative 2 pi over 3. So I'm going to put minus 2 pi over 3. Close my parentheses. And then on the end, I'm going to put minus 7, because that's my vertical shift here. So the equation for number 28, and I'm sorry I squeezed it in here at the bottom, is y equals negative 7 sine of 2/3 theta minus 2 pi over 3 minus 7. And that's the equation for number 28. I'm going to start over on a new screen for number 31, but this is number 28. As I attacked number 31, I made the graphic a little smaller, so I had more room to do some work. We're going to work on 31. Again, remember the amplitude is pretty straightforward. We're just going to call that 3.5. So my A is 3.5. To get the K, I need to set the period pi over 2 equal to 2 pi divided by k, and then solve for k. So I cross multiply and I get pi k equals 4 pi. When I divide by pi, I get k equals 4. Now that I know k equals 4, I can use the phase shift of pi over 4 to solve for c. c is the negative of the k, which is negative 4, times pi over 4. So that cancels, and we get negative pi. So c is negative pi. And I already know the vertical shift is 7, so h is 7, and that's up. Now I'm ready to write this equation, and remember, this is a cosine equation. So it's going to be y equals 3.5 cosine of k, which is 4, times my variable theta, minus pi, because my c is negative pi there, plus 7. Sorry about the pause there. I was making sure I did this right. And I did. I was just making sure that I had that c written correctly, and I do. So again, we go through the process of finding a, k, c, and h, and then we write the equation by filling in those positions. So there's really, once you get the hang of this thing, there's not much to do. The two calculations are finding k and c. You have to do a little math on those. You're given a and h. So your job then will be to try and finish 29, 30, 32, and 33. I think you'll do fine, but come back with 6 equations tomorrow. You can steal the 2 I had off this video and then do the other 4 on your own. If you have any issues, you know where to find me. Take care.